Habaragani family, Kwanzaa Nashville family. This is Maria Hall, the founder and CEO of Kwanzaa Nashville. I am so happy you have made it to the third night of Kwanzaa, Habaragani, and your response is the day that we are on today, which is Ujima. So Habaragani, Ujima is your response. I want to welcome the community here, virtual Kwanzaa Nashville experience. We are so excited about constantly being able to do this virtual experience and keeping our fingers crossed that the Wi-Fi's and the internets, because they just didn't want us to be great this year, but we have some Kuji Chakali in our life and some self-determination and some Ujima in our life and definitely some Imani. So we're going to keep praying and hoping and believing that we can continue to stay connected through our virtual Kwanzaa experience 2020. We are here today because of Ujima. Ujima is the principle by which we are focusing on today. If you have never been a part of a Kwanzaa experience, Kwanzaa really is about coming together as an in-gathering with family, community, and friends to celebrate culture, and not just any culture, but African-American culture and African and Pan-African culture. So that's what the foundation of Kwanzaa is about. It's also a time to meditate and reflect on and recommit and rededicate ourselves to the principles of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa is a cultural holiday. It's not a religious holiday. It is designed to be a value system created that starts in the home. Before we can have unity in the community and beyond, we have to have unity in our families. And so this is the time that you teach these principles, just not during the 7 days of Kwanzaa, but also throughout the entire year to our children. This is the time when at their age that they begin to memorize the concepts of the principles and what they mean so that they can embody and they can live out those meanings. It is important that our children have umoja and understand that it takes unity to accomplish things, that we don't operate in isolation, that I am because we are. We teach them kuji chakalia, self-determination, so that they know how to speak for themselves and stand up for themselves and define themselves and develop things for themselves and not wait for others to do that for them. Because I guarantee if somebody else tells your story, it's not going to be your story. So we have to make sure that we instill and deposit those principles into our children's lives early. And even if you didn't get Kwanzaa until you were 55 years old, you have a lot of life to live. And so every day is a new opportunity to embody new concepts and dedicate our lives to new principles. And so today we are focusing and meditating on the principle of Ujima. Ujima tells us and teaches us and calls on us to make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. One of the amazing parts about today is we celebrated the life and the legacy of Baba Kwame Leo Lillard today as we put him to, as he had his memorial celebration of life service today. And it is so timely that we celebrated his life on the day and night of Ujima, because Ujima is about collective work and responsibility. And that's how he lived his life. He lived his life with purpose of bringing the community together and understanding that an injustice anywhere is an injustice everywhere. His life, he was a 24/7 revolutionary man. He believed that that we always are in a revolution. We always fighting for justice, and we never give up. We never give up, and we don't do it in isolation. We must do it in community. And so we honor Baba Kwame today as he is joined with the ancestors. We believe in African culture that we should continue to speak the names of our ancestors because they lived through us. That's why we should always work in purpose, because we are the living and walking examples for our children, and they embody those same principles. And Baba Kwame embodied 7 principles, 365, and lived out Nia, lived out Kuumba, lived out Imani, lived out Ujima, Ujima, lived out Kujichakali and Umoja 365. And so we honor his life and his example and his legacy, and we will continue to live that legacy every day. And we will speak your name, Baba Kwame. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So tonight, let's first, we're going to go ahead and light the Kanara. My young warrior is going to come and help us, because this is a family experience. And so because we are virtually getting together, we're going to do this in our home. So I hope you have your Kanara, please. If you want to, you can go ahead and do this with me. But on the third night of Kwanzaa, we light 3 candles, okay? So on the first night what was the first night, you remember?
The Umoja candle.
That is correct. That is the Umoja candle. Let's make sure that everybody can see you. There we go. The Umoja candle, and that is what color is the candle?
Black.
Black. So we light, you gonna help me?
Yes.
We light the first Umoja candle. We say Umoja.
Umoja.
Which means unity. All right. And then what do we do next? For those who've never done Kwanzaa before, you take that unity candle. Let's see if we can pull it out. Yes. And we believe that it requires unity to embody and practice the other principles. So we take the unity candle and we light the second night of Kwanzaa, which was what, T? You remember?
Kuji Chakalia.
Kuji Chakalia, and that's the red candle, which represents the struggle of our people. All right. And then we have tonight is the third night, which is what? Ujima. Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. And we're gonna light this first green candle with the Umoja candle. Ashe. Thank you so much, Mr. Hall.
Thank you.
All right. So, I think we all try not to burn up the house today. There we go. So, by the end of Kwanzaa, all these candles are going to be different heights, but that's the beauty. That's the art of Kwanzaa. So we have our Kanara, we got our candles lit, got my Baba Kwame pen, I got my African attire ready. I hope you all got into the spirit of Kwanzaa this year and got dressed and got your music going and your incense and your sage and maybe you got a little djembe at home, and your music going. So I hope you are really experiencing Kwanzaa in the home with your family. I want to make sure that everybody is aware of the next few nights of Kwanzaa. And so tomorrow is Ujima. All right, Ujima is cooperative economics. We are having a virtual experience with Ujima as well. It will be within the Hopin platform. So it's going to be a little bit different tomorrow. So I need you to put on your listening ears and tell your brother, call your sister, tell them tomorrow it's going to be a little different. And what I mean by that is Ujima, we are experiencing and having programming all day tomorrow. All right. It will start at 9 a.m. and go all the way to 10 p.m. Okay. So from 9 a.m. to about 6 p.m., that is the Black Business Summit. You say, Maria, what is the Black Business Summit? That is there will be 5 workshops back to back, not at the same time, at different times. 5 workshops, 5 business workshops that will be offered around Black business. Now, let me tell you who is on board for tomorrow. We have some heavy hitters for the Ujima Black Business Summit. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are thinking about being an entrepreneur, if you are established, you just started, or you've been in business for several years, we all can continue to share knowledge and information about how to promote your business, market your business, how to get grants, how to do what you need to do to be successful. Because it's just not about opening up some doors. It's about being educated about Black business and the operations and practices of that. So we have Danielle McGee that will be offering a presentation tomorrow on marketing. We have Isaac Ade who will be doing a presentation on entrepreneurship and your purpose within entrepreneurship. We have our very own Kisa Novici Smith, who will be doing a presentation on business accounting and legal structures, business structures. Then we have Jacqueline Merritt, who will be talking about government contracts. And then we have our very own Jasmine Turan, who will be offering a presentation on customer service. All right. Now, this is the good thing. The way you get, the way you sign up and register to be a part of that business summit, you have to go to the KwanzaaNashville.com site. All right. It's not something you can just willy-nilly and I'm just going to show up and it's going to appear on my computer. You have to take some Coochie Chakalia steps, go to the website and hit the Black Business Expo tab. Scroll down to attend the business summit or go to the expo. Literally any button you press is going to go to the same screen. Okay. Go to that screen. Now, the business summit, which is business workshops, there is a fee, but it's only $25, people. $25 for 5 workshops. Five workshops. I don't know where you can get 5 workshops for $5 a piece. And these are our workshops with amazing individuals in the industry. So please, tonight, after we get off this session or while we're in Kwanzaa, go ahead and go on the website, get your ticket, register to attend the summit. And you don't have to do all of them. You may pick, but the schedule is on the Hopin site once you push that button to get your ticket. All right. Also, if you want to attend the expo, all right, the expo, I'm probably using that and assuming people know what that is. The expo is where your Black dollars will connect with another Black business, okay? It will be in a virtual setting. It is not going to be streamed on Facebook Live. It's not on IG. This is within the Hopin platform. So what does that mean? You have to get a ticket. You have to get a ticket, and it just got posted on the chat. You must get a ticket to attend the expo. Same thing. Go to KwanzaaNashville.com, hit the Black Business Expo, scroll on down, get a free ticket. It is free. Hit it. And then when you go into the Hopin profile, hit the free ticket for the expo. It'll ask for your name, a couple of other things, and then you have it, and you can enter the expo. You can enter the expo and go to the summit and get those tickets up until time for things. Even once the expo starts at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, you can still enter. So if you come to the Kwanzaa Nashville live Facebook page or the website tomorrow, you will see a graphic that tells you to go to Hopin and get your ticket and join the expo. We have wonderful vendors that will be selling product and services. It is super important that you all take the time to support our Black businesses. They are there. You will be able to, just like if you came to a physical experience, by a click of a button, be able to connect and see businesses on your screen that you can go to, hit, and you can talk face-to-face with the individual that is behind who actually is selling the product or service, just like as if you were in a physical setting. All right. So I needed to take that time to really kind of explain what's going on. So it is not going to be a traditional streaming tomorrow. You have to actually take a step to be a part of the Kwanzaa experience tomorrow. All the presentations about Kwanzaa, the vendors will all be on that platform. And there is a main stage that will look like this, where we will be having a conversation with those that are part of the Ujima experience. All right. So I hope that is clear. Go to the website. If you have any questions, DM us, Instagram us, shoot us an email, KwanzaaNashville@gmail.com. If you wanted to be a vendor at this point, that has been closed. We are not accepting any other vendors. So hopefully next year you can be a part of the experience, and possibly we may do this at some point during the year. All right, so I think I've covered that thoroughly for Ujima tomorrow. And we just checking my notes. All right, so we are ready. I think we are ready for Ujima experience. I don't know if you are ready, but I am ready for Ujima. Some collective work and responsibility. Tonight, we have with us an amazing program that is going to be, we're going to hear the voices of our youth tonight. A lot of times we see the adults and their teaching and experiences of Kwanzaa, but we are going to experience our children tonight. So I am going to bring to the stage 2 wonderful women, beautiful women of the community who walk and live in Ujima. And first, I'm going to bring to the stage my sister, Jamila Tyrell Hutchinson. Let's see, are we in? Yes, we are. Let me pull down some graphics real quick and let's hide that. All right, how are you doing today, Sister Jamila?
I am good. How are you, Habarigani?
Oh, Ujima in the house.
Yes.
Yes, Ujima in the house. All right, and we also have that I will be bringing to the stage. That's also one of our hosts tonight is Sister Angel, and we are going to let's see which one are we going to grab? We're going to grab the strongest signal. There we go. All right, Sister Angel, you in the house?
Habarigani.
Habarigani. So
Who
you
said Habarigani?
Ujima, my sister. Ujima, yes. All right. So you will need to cut off your other device, Angel. So I think we're good on this signal because it will feedback. All right. Okay, and your volume is up. So I think we are here. We are in the Ujima. Yes, can definitely hear you. We are in the Ujima house tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of the Kwanzaa Nashville experience. We rely on partnerships with other organizations here in the city. Sister Angel is with Asset Performing Arts Academy, and we have Sister Jamila, who is also here. And so please, if you would, just introduce yourself to the community and tell us a little bit about your organization, and then we will then talk about what to expect for Ujima tonight. So Sister Angel, please introduce yourself.
Well, tonight y'all can call me Sis because I'm here for Rise Up Radio.
Hey!
And that's just on that.
Yes.
Asset Academy is it's a performing arts academy for students between the ages of 8 years old and 18. Tonight we're going to introduce Teen Summit. It's a program that we started back in July when the students had a lot to say about what was going on here in Nashville and abroad, nationally and internationally. And they have an opportunity to speak with you all directly to share with you their emotions, the things that they've been having to go through. And they're just going to get right to the nitty gritty about how they're feeling about family, community, Kwanzaa, healing, elders, how we can support them, community resources. And so I'm looking forward to sharing tonight.
Thank you so much, Sister Angel, for being here tonight. Sister Jamila, introduce yourself to the community. Tell us about who you are. Your Kujalia.
Yes, so I'm Sister Jamila, and I wear many hats. So tonight I'm representing J&J Planning Network, which is my husband and I, our business, where we strive to help people protect their lives, homes, businesses, and money. We bring peace of mind through guaranteed money tools and protect from the market downturn. And so we also give opportunity through our business partnership to earn extra income on a referral part-time basis, and even the chance to work from home. And so we want to make sure that no family is left behind. And we also want to make sure that we build better families for our community. And a part of that is having that intergenerational exchange of culture, right? And, a lot of us, we think that just because we're in it, that our children are catching what we're doing. And sometimes they're not, right? And so tonight we're going to learn a little bit more about, how we can support our children and what it is that they think they need. We also have another organization that partnered with us. That's Nashville Emotional Wellness Counseling. That is owned and operated by my best friend, Jamila Walker. And so I want to encourage you all to check out their social media because they have a lot of great information when it comes to counseling services. And again, it's about Ujima, so collective work and responsibility.
All right. Thank you so much, Jamila, for being a part of the Ujima experience today. We are so grateful to have individuals, both of you all, who are pouring into the community, providing the community with culture, art, resources to empower ourselves, to have some Chakalia and some Kaumba in our life, So thank you so much for your continued contribution to the community. Ashe. All right, so we are about to get started with the program. Is there anything you'd like to share with the community about what they are about to experience or what you hope that they gain from this experience today?
I'll say something that I took away is that we don't have time to wait for other people to do things. And with the transition of Baba Kwame, he's someone who definitely, shared the baton and passed it. And so whether or not we were ready, wanted to, or thought we had the energy or the time, we don't have a choice. If we want to see things improve, we have to be our ancestors' wildest dreams. We got to pick up the torch.
Yes, Ashe.
Word. And I think the biggest thing that I can share is the young people have been reaching out to us in their own words to say, hey, whatever y'all got for us, we're here to embrace it now. Sometimes in their adolescence, we give them things and they don't really catch on to the little tokens that we're dropping, but they're going to really express how they need us and how they really want us to hold on to them tight. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to embrace them. So here we go.
All right, here we go. Kwanzaa Nashville, sit back and experience Ujima Teen Summit. Thank you, Sister Jamila and Sister Angel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jamie Glatt. I'm a social worker at Nashville Emotional Wellness, and this is Teen Summit. Hello, everyone. My name is Jamie, and I am currently working as a therapist at Nashville Emotional Wellness. And I have a background in human resources as well, about 5 years. And I'm just happy to be here with you all to help to moderate this event. Let's talk real time what this event means to you. I was born and raised in Nashville, and when I think about a experience that reminds me of the African Pledge, that makes me feel like I'm in community and culture, I think about the African Street Festival that happens annually in Nashville. The shirt that I have on today, I wore it on purpose because I got it at the African Street Festival, a dashiki that I absolutely love. And it screams, African pride, and it just brings me back to how I felt there at the African Street Festival. So what I want to do is go from left to right and share what this experience meant to you that you just did for Kwanzaa. And maybe if you have an experience like the African Street Festival or something that makes you feel like you're in community. And I'd like to start from my left, which is the young woman in the beige or pink top. Can't really see. If you could just say your name, it might be a little bit hard for me to hear. That way I know who to say your name, what your name is. So if you could say your name and maybe an experience that, connects you to community African, like the African Pledge and what makes you feel in community, and what the Kwanzaa experience meant to you.
My name is Asatira.
Thank you.
And something that makes me feel like I'm in the community is whenever I go to the African Street Festival and see other people and support Black businesses.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next.
Hello, my name is Akil Hutchinson. Something that makes me connected to the African Street Festival is that to see a lot of people that are like myself, a lot of Black males, they're doing something they like, or they're supporting other Black males and females with things they like.
Cool. Thank you.
My name is Janae, and
I don't really have a lot of experiences that make me feel connected to the community. This is actually one of like the first times I'm actually like really celebrating Kwanzaa. So I guess I'm looking forward to like making memories and living those experiences and stuff like that, and getting to understand the holiday better. So yeah.
Awesome.
My name is Kijani, and one thing that makes me feel connected to the community is also the African Street Festival, which I've been going, almost every single year. And it's just great to, just see people that I haven't seen in a while, have good food, look at different performances, just have a good time there. And yeah.
My name is Vanessa, and an experience is also the African Street Festival, because it's like it makes me feel welcome and like comfortable in an area with people who look just like me, and supporting like small businesses and just being there, and the comfort in there and the energy, it just feels right. And so yeah.
My name is Kamaria Hutchinson, and one thing that makes me feel connected to the community is also the African Street Festival, because most of the same reasons as everybody else, you get to see like people that you don't see on a regular basis, but it's like that one time, okay, we finna have fun today and we just gonna celebrate like our people. And then I also want to say the Village Church, because like growing up I'm not even Christian, but always going there and just seeing people and just the community, and it's always welcoming, and I just really like going there. So that also helps me feel more connected to the community.
Awesome. Thank you all for sharing. I'm going to talk about three things today, and kind of ask you all some questions. One is going to be the African Pledge. So I'm going to read this. So the African Pledge: we will remember the humanity, glory, and suffering of our ancestors and honor the struggle of our elders. We will strive to bring new value and new life to our people. We will have peace and harmony among us. We will be loving, sharing, and creative. We will work, study, and listen so we may learn so we may teach. We will cultivate self-reliance. We will struggle to resurrect and unify our homeland. We will raise many children for our nation. We will have discipline, patience, devotion, and courage. We will live as models to provide new direction for our people. We will be free and self-determining. We are African people. We will win. Such powerful words. I kind of wrote what that meant to me, and how I think about the history that builds our foundation for future generations. Our people are grounded on truthfulness, devotion to our culture, and ultimate resilience despite any adversity we may face. And it's that adversity that has shaped us into the strong race that we are now. And that adversity that our ancestors faced, I feel in my soul. And it makes me want to go harder in life because of the sacrifices that they made for me to have equal rights. And when I reflect on where I can incorporate that into my daily life is in my morning intention setting. Mornings are so powerful, and there's a lot of research around 5 to 8 a.m. before the world wakes up, just kind of setting your mind in a very positive space. That's where I would like to incorporate the pledge, and think about that. So I wanted to ask a question for the group. Do you ever, where could you see yourself incorporating the pledge into your day currently?
I feel like I could incorporate it where at school I would normally say the Pledge of Allegiance. I never said it, but like I feel like instead of singing that, I could sing that. I mean, not sing it, but y'all know what I mean. Recite that, and I'm gonna be honest, I never really sat there and learned the African pledge because it wasn't ingrained in my mind as the American pledge or whatever that we say in school. So I would just say that I'm gonna learn what it means to me, just to try to understand my people and where I came from, and not what the system is trying to make me believe and stuff like that. But yeah, I just feel like I could replace it where I would say the morning pledge and I could say the African pledge. And yeah.
Wow. Believe, and make sure I heard you correct, but you know, stating and knowing the pledge rather than just what the system wants you to believe. That's really powerful. Really, really powerful. Anybody else have any thoughts? Is this your first time hearing the pledge? Raise your hand if you've heard the pledge.
I've heard it. I don't remember it.
Okay, so everybody's pretty much, okay, I saw 3 hands, so that means only 3 people have heard it, and it's okay if you haven't. So we say about half the group haven't heard it? Everybody's heard it. Okay, it's cool. It's not a problem. Okay. So, and if you've heard it and you don't have it memorized, there is an opportunity to sit and learn it and incorporate it into your day. Just like Kamaria was saying, instead of saying the pledge that you say in school, you could use that to say the African pledge. So, all right, so we're going to do a call and response, and then I'll just say the definition. So we're gonna state the 7 principles in Nguzo Saba. All right. So next one is unity, Moja. To strive for and maintain unity in the family, community, nation, and race. Kuji Chakalia. Self-determination. To define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. Ujima. Collective work and responsibility to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. Ujima. Cooperative economics to build and maintain our own stores, shops, and other businesses to profit for them together. Nia. Purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and developing our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Kumba. Creativity, to do always as much as we can in the way that we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and more beneficial than where we inherited it. Imani. Faith, to believe with all of our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Thank you all so much for calling and responding with me there, the 7 principles. So powerful. When I read the 7 principles, it made me feel a sense of community. It made me feel a sense of responsibility in each principle to my Black sister and brother. In adversity, we have faced generational trauma. We have faced an all-static load, which is ultimately what we experience with stress from prior generations, something that we've kind of inherited, and it carries in our culture. For example, our families being separated in slavery, light skin versus Black sin, separation and slave tasks, Black men and women having separation and being able to vote and earn equal pay. In our struggle, we have faced separation cast upon us, and these principles are a reminder to rise above. I feel the Spirit of the Lord that tells me to forgive so that I can be forgiven. I forgive my trespassers who set out to harm our race, so that I could do the work of the King on earth. No matter our differences, we are unified by our culture and the mission within Nguzo Saba. So with that, I wanted to know if any of those that I just said, those adversities that we face in our culture in America and the culture that is hidden from our books, as the young woman was just saying there, what the system wants us to believe. So many things are hidden, and then so many things wonderful things that our African people have brought to the table that aren't being talked about. I wanted to know, have you felt a sense of separation in your rights as a young woman or young man compared to your other colleagues? This could be in school, this could be in, community or wherever. Have you felt a sense of separation? Or even, we have a lot of things going on right now in in politics and Black Lives Matter. How has this impacted you all? Have you felt a sense of separation to what America states is a right you should have as an American citizen?
So I go to a school in Green Hills, which is my school. I go to Hillsborough, so basically when I go to the mall, I feel like I know that there's a lot of white people staring at me because I'm a Black man at a predominantly white school and a predominantly white neighborhood and area. So I know that I can't do certain things that I would do at Opry Mills where there's a lot of people that look just like me there. So yeah, you can feel the eyes watching you. So
you said you can feel, and can you speak up just a little bit more?
I said that you can feel the eyes watching you. Like you can even if you turn around, you can see people, like you can see the white people staring at you, and it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Green Hills, Hillsborough area. Okay. Anybody else kind of resonate with that experience? You can feel eyes watching you. It's not the same experience it might be for a white person beside you or in any other culture that you feel a sense of separation.
I feel like I experience eyes watching me, but I don't feel like it's from my people. I feel like it's from other Black people, and like in terms of like things like colorism and how oftentimes Black people tend to be separated by how light or dark their skin is. And I know like I've heard people say really derogatory things. Other Black people say really derogatory things towards dark skins and specifically dark skinned women. So I think I think it's important to focus. I think it's important to address the racism that comes from non-Black communities, but I feel like it's also important to address the colorism and prejudice that also happens in the Black community from other Black people to other Black people.
I think it's more in the school system for me. Like, I go to a predominantly Black school, but it's like, it also has a lot of diversity. Like, Cresswell is one of the most diverse schools that I've been to that I know of, other than Meg's and, like, MLK and the other places. But, like, it's just more in, like, the learning, and it's always about the sensitive topics. Like, it's more, like, if we have a Black teacher, I know that they're going to try their best to incorporate us and, like, teach us more about us. But we were having a conversation earlier, and it's just like we learn about the same Black people over and over again. It's never anybody new. They never want to introduce new talent. They want to keep them hidden, and they don't want to show us what other things we did. Martin Luther King is the only Black man who actually advocated for us. Rosa Parks is the only Black woman who sat down on the bus. Like, that's not true. And I just feel like it's more hidden, and they don't want us to know about all the other powerful people, all the other people who actually wanted to see us grow, and all of our other ancestors. And if I didn't learn it from my parents, or if I didn't learn it from going to things like this, it was like it was never taught to me. And then it was also like they restricted learning to us too. Like, we had a teacher, Miss Sparlock. Well, y'all probably gonna bleep that out, but I mean, we had a teacher at our school, and it was like the way she treated the color students and then the white students, and you could see the difference. And we had to have a conversation about it. It's like every student noticed it. It was just like she restricted certain learning skills to us. For me, it was a little bit of my behavior. I'm not gonna blame it all on her, because I did, like, if I have an issue with you, if I know that you're treating me different because of my skin color, it's just gonna make me automatically not feel comfortable with you. So it's just like it was like learning was being took from me because of the color of my skin. You didn't want to teach me this because of the color of my skin. So it's just like, I can't ask this question because the color of my skin. You don't want to respond because the color of my skin. And it's just like, it's so many restrictions that we have just because the color of our skin.
Yeah, I think it also brings up the idea of censorship, and like going back to what you said about like every February with Black History Month, we always hear, oh, it's Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and I think it's important to teach African Americans in specific that we have history beyond just slavery. Like, we weren't always slaves, and I think it's important to let people know that and learn that. And I think and learn that. And I think that I think we already know, like, school isn't going to teach us that. So I think it's important for you on your own to do that research and understand that just be like, you can learn where you come from and learn your roots and learn that you're just more than what your ancestors were.
I also want to talk about kind of like education, I guess. For me and my sister, I feel like we're blessed to have the resources to know, certain things and kind of grow with that knowledge. But as Kamari was talking, I kind of realized that just in particular, one person that I don't really remember even learning about in school, and that was like someone like Malcolm X. Like I don't remember me like learning about that in school. I've always known that, like I've been taught that, in places elsewhere. But then I also like understand that white folks and even some black folks like did not mess, with Malcolm X just because he was so outspoken and did all these different things. Once he was dead, then it was all, we love Malcolm X, and even with Martin Luther King Jr. Ain't nobody wanted to mess with him. But then once he didn't have a voice anymore, then that's when they started to praise him and started to, give him recognition. And there's still some things that even with the things that we learn about, him, there's still things that a lot of kids don't know, and it's always, Malcolm was the more, radical one, and Martin, but even with Martin, he still did a lot of things that, again, like divided, I guess, black people, because some of them are like, in with churches, some of them are like, you're not coming to my church. I don't want you to be at the church, because they felt unsafe and different things like that. So I just feel like there's something wrong with, education right now, because again, I don't remember learning about, different people besides, the key two people that everyone, is way more comfortable with speaking about. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I also think it's kind of funny, like, now people, like, try to act like they liked Martin Luther King, and, like, I know I've heard, in, like, during this time of, like, Black Lives Matter, stuff like that, I've heard, like, certain conservatives who are, like, against, like, BLM and stuff like that, some of their favorite talking points is, oh, well, Martin Luther King would have never acted like this isn't what he died for. And it's like, at the time of Martin Luther King's death, he was the most hated man in America. So I just also think it's just really funny how people try to be like, which people try to say and, like, use him as, like, a way to guilt trip. And it's just, like, after a while, like, once things have just happened for so long, sometimes you have to get a little rowdy so people can hear you, so people can understand.
Well said, sis.
Wow. Wow. Such powerful things that you all have mentioned. And a lot of these I'm hearing is under the theme of education. And so I would love to just pause here before we go into the next topic and kind of group these into some themes. And I just love to hear what one of you all's suggestion might be to change it. Are you there? Go ahead.
What are they doing on their own to learn about themselves, because they're not going to teach it to them in an academic setting? And I say that because, how do they like to receive their education? Because they have technology in their hands. Are they using it to research Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, to listen to their speeches or to read any of their writings? Or, how do they intend to learn it if they are not actively seeking it out? How can we get this information to them? Because as we discovered today, they've been exposed to this since they were born. However, they don't remember anything. And so how do we make this a part of your day-to-day life? Because this is information that we know from memory. It's kind of like, as a swim instructor, they say, you don't teach your children to swim, you give them to somebody else, because typically they are not going to learn it from you. So can you talk to them about that, so how we parents here can be educated?
I have a comment.
And that's not a diss, this is a learning.
You good? I have a comment. Okay. So I'm gonna say, like, Black Lives Matter has been a movement. It just started back up because of how tense it was getting. So I'm gonna say, like, with TikTok, it's like we're on there, or I'm on there 24/7, and I'm just seeing. So, like, the more, like, TikTok has become more political ever since like the first not the first killing, but like the first thing that has been more publicized with the George Floyd and then Breonna Taylor, all of that. When it became so publicized and became such an anger, it upset the Black community so much to where we had to stop. Like we couldn't sit there and accept it anymore. And we were never accepting it, but it was just more hitting. So I want to say like TikTok has become it's like a place where I can learn, where I actually enjoy it. It's like a 60-second video. I'm scrolling the For You page. It's a 60-second video, and it's just somebody teaching me something that I didn't know, like the what's they called? What you signed? A petition. Yeah, like just like it's so many things that I didn't know I could do, like to help, because I couldn't get out there and like protest, so I could just sit there and sign a petition because of COVID. Like I don't know, TikTok has become a place to where I can learn and also enjoy learning it. So that's an easy place to reach out.
Also, I feel like, well, my bad. I feel like at school, you should automatically have a class that teaches you about Black history in middle school and high school and elementary. Yeah, and because I feel like a Black person can go more in depth into how we're feeling and what's going on more than a white person could. Not saying they couldn't, but a Black person knows their experiences. They know what it's like. They know what's going on, so therefore they can teach us better than a white person could. Not dissing any white people, but that's just like it would be better and more comfortable if it was taught by a Black person. And I don't understand why schools don't have that, because I feel like that would be really smarter than just having to wait till college to learn about more Black stuff and like learning about how we were kings and queens and stuff and all the stuff we ruled in Africa. So yeah, and I feel like they should show a different side of Africa than just poor and broke, and because I know it's more than that. It's a really beautiful country. Same difference. But
I think that's a very interesting take, because actually my first year of high school, which was last year, I had a class and it was African American Studies, and it was taught by a Black man, and it was very interesting. We had a lot of discussions, and it was really, I really enjoyed the class, and it was really one of my favorite classes. Passed with flying colors. So I just think it's very interesting to hear that like you guys haven't had that experience yet, but I have. So
yeah, and you go to a charter school, right?
Yeah.
And we go to public school, and I feel like it should be accessed everywhere. I feel like even white people should learn about it too. It should be mandatory because we're learning so much about them and so little about us. You did not do all of that. You did not do everything in that book. It's way more stuff that we did, and I just feel like we're learning so much about you. You know nothing about me.
I also think it's like there's this like where like they pick and choose like which parts of history they want to tell us. Like we always are constantly hearing about ancient Egypt and like things like that. And like ancient Egypt was amazing civilization. Totally should be talked about it. But like that's not the only place in Africa that has rich history. Like the Kingdom of Mali, Ghana, like all these places have such rich and beautiful history, and we should be learning about that as well. Like give Egypt a rest, you know, like
that's right.
We've talked about them so much. We've talked about them so much, and even today, like people don't even think of, a lot of people that I've talked to don't even think of Egypt as part of Africa. They think of it more as part of the Middle East. I think that also speaks to this like higher thing of like if you've accomplished something, like these great accomplishments, we're going to try to push that as close to like people who are fair-skinned people and things like that. And you know, you get what I'm saying? Like keep it try to take the credit away from Black people, you know? So yeah.
Wow. Such powerful reflections, and I still do hear the underlying theme of the education system. So to circle back to the question that Jamila asked, what can we do ourselves to learn about Black culture, African American culture, African culture, learn more about our ancestors? Excuse me. Couple of things that I was thinking of. One, to kind of go back to what Akil was stating about we should have Black courses. We should have Black classes in our high schools and in our school systems. One thing that I thought of, I took several African American classes in college, and they do have like a lot of what do you call them, elective courses and so forth. It might not be like a part of your main generalist studies, but you can start to take them as electives. So that's where you can kind of start to see more African American classes listed in the university system. Also, too, joining local teen groups, maybe NAACP. I think I was a part of the NAACP group, or Urban League, Nashville. Those are really good groups as well, just to get immersed in culture within Nashville. Also, Audible, like, is such an amazing way. Audible within Amazon. Are you all familiar with Audible? Raise your hand if you're familiar with Audible. Raise your hand. Okay, cool. So it's the easiest way. You can listen to it while you're working out. You can listen to it while you're in the car and listen to books. One book that I would suggest that has been really helpful to me in working in an Ivy League organization, that has helped me out. I work at Vanderbilt as well. And it's very, very, very white, very privileged white. And I had to figure out them so that they wouldn't corrode my mentality about myself, because somehow their culture can try to derail you in a way, demean you in a way as a Black person. And so I had to educate myself about them as well. And then there are books that we have, once I can read them, instead of me having to educate you as a white person, then I say, no, you need to read this book. One book is you need to read more about yourself as well, and about your white fragility. So something, I think, let me get the name right, Kamaria. Did I get it wrong again?
No, you got it right.
Okay, cool. You were saying something earlier that made me think about your professor, your teacher, and how she's treating you differently than another white colleague, and not giving you information about Black history and so forth. You know, that white, and within the book of White Fragility, so this was written, I think, maybe about 3 years ago, before, right, just on the onset of Black Lives Matter and so forth. And her name is Robin, I think, DiAngelo, and she talks about how white people come together and form supremacy against one another. It goes all the way back to their culture, and how they kind of use their culture to derail the Black race and their fragile in state. So it's really helpful to learn a little bit more about them, to recognize how that can feed into racism. And then we have so many books that we can maybe pull up resource log for you all from Nashville Emotional Wellness as well, Black history books, just to learn more about our culture. But that is something that I want to list that might just be helpful if you are immersed in a more white environment. TED Talks. Are you all familiar with TED Talk? Raise your hand if you're familiar with TED Talk. Cool. I love TED Talks. Really, really good evidence-based professors, teachers, speakers that speak on there about topics that are current. That would be a recommendation. And thank you for sharing TikTok. That'll be definitely something that can take that back and share that with others as well. That's been definitely resourceful for you all. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 suggestions that I might have. Are there any questions that you all would have for me that would be helpful for you all as a resource to learn more about Black culture, or to have coping around racism? Anything you think of with any of those resources I just named? And one thing about it is books really helps you with trauma, just knowing things more, knowing how to cope with things, how people could cope with things in the past, and just knowing things, knowing about your culture, and knowing about people that have studied racism and what they suggest and put into place. So that's something I definitely suggest. That's something that you can do and grasp. If it's not joining a group, if it's not taking a class, reading, listening to a book, listening and joining it with cooking, if you like to cook, walking, if you like to walk, working out, and just getting that knowledge in as much as you can. So I wanted to just share that piece. The last topic here was the Black National Anthem. And we kind of talked about this earlier, about pledging allegiance to the national anthem flag. And I thought about, that would be something that I would think about if I was in high school, of pledging allegiance to my Black national anthem. And I always think about Dr. King and the marches. And I think about, how it has so much more meaning to me as a Black woman. And I do believe that the system, as you all have stated, has failed me and my ancestors time and time again. For examples, not having equal rights to be able to vote as a woman, or even pay inequities when you do come to work. So I do believe that incorporating the Black National Anthem and consistency in our families and with community groups can bring about more unity, as it has a lot of meaning for our culture and for also the whole world to know it, and have meaning for the whole world. So I wanted to leave and open this up with, what could you create? What business could you create? What idea could you create? Founded on the Black National Anthem, founded on, I believe one of those principles were about kind of like the entrepreneurship, supporting one another, circling all the way back to the African Street Festival and what we feel when we go there, and how Black people are together and supporting one another in business. What could you create to bring about a more of a sense of African culture to greater communities? Anybody have any thoughts? Do we have any innovators in this group, creators in this group?
I don't have a business, but I wanted to comment on what you said, like, in the beginning. So I want to say one thing that, like, Metro didn't, I mean, they hired her, so I guess they did a good job on that. But, like, at Jones Padilla, y'all going to understand. Okay, at Jones Padilla, when I was in second grade, we never sung we never sung the attendance. We didn't, not the attendance, the Pledge of Allegiance, whatever that is. Yeah, we never did that. Our teacher, the first time she came in there, it was her first year, and she was Miss Reed, and she taught me the most in school about myself, and she never made us sing that. She made all of us learn the Black National Anthem. We sung it every day. We used to take turns. I think Tyrell, did you have her?
Yeah, I had her in second grade.
Yeah, I don't know how she, I don't know. We did that. Yeah, she was very consistent with that, and I want to say, like, that's one good thing that the school system did. They hired her, so I feel like you have to hire the right people to teach the right things, and that's one good thing that they did. Like, I learned so much just being in there, and after doing that, after I learned the Black National Anthem, I performed it at the African Street Festival. I utilize it in a lot of things that I do day to day, just because of that one teacher that changed my life by teaching me that song. So.
This is what we could do. We can make a club at our school, and that would be just like not just, but like that would talk about Black history, and like that club could or should be held at like during lunch times or after school, or for PLT, because PLT don't really do nothing for high school. You just sit there and be on your phones. So that's something that we should or we could do. You know, I'm not right now. It's not really possible because of the COVID situation. So like, if school were to start back up again for Nashville, then that's something we should try to look forward for, or try to learn, or try to do. So try to set up. Yeah.
With things like this is a perfect way to get other people involved and communicated with it.
I think also as a community we have to start listening to each other and hearing experiences out. I think we have to also, I feel like we have to acknowledge the fact that Black isn't just African American, it's African, it's Caribbean, Afro-Latino, different things like that. The thing is, and everybody has a different experience depending on where they come from. So I think as a community, we have to start hearing each other out and hearing all of our experiences. Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you all ever just kind of sit in silence? Do you have like a prayer, spiritual meditation workout? What gives you a sense of release? What adds resilience to your life? Music, playing music. Are any of you all creators here?
For me, whenever I feel like I am like sane, or like my time to give to myself, I know this is kind of weird, but I like to talk to myself, I like to talk out my problems, just talk about different things I'm feeling, because I could just think it in my head, but I feel like with me speaking it out, it sounds better, and I just know how it sounds. So yeah, that's how I do it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
For me, I mainly I really love music. So
I just plug in a while, just and if I have this space to just be by myself, I'll be by myself, listen to any type of music. And sometimes even if like I'm not feeling good, it doesn't have to be trying to feel better, I guess. Or if like not trying to listen to music that kind of uplift me, but sometimes listen to music that could like express my sadness, I guess, just so I could try to like get it out and kind of feel more comfortable in my sadness or any type of emotion I'm feeling. But that's mainly like music is a big thing, big part. So yeah.
I think for me it's like Kijani's with music because like listening not just like upbeat music, but upbeat music can like lift me up and like get me into a better mood. And then like music, like how I'm feeling, like you can listen to it, but it can kind of bring you down all the time. Or if you like where you're at, like if you're in bed, like it could just bring you down more because like you're being like depression. If you're listening to sad music and you're in bed, and like it could cause you to like not want to do anything. But if you listen, at the same time, if you listen to sad music, it could like it relates to you, so like you're not the only one that feels like this.
Piggybacking off of what Vanessa and Kijani said, yeah, I just feel like that's what I do. But I don't know why, but I like listening to music that will break me down because sometimes I can't get it out and the music could get it out for me. So like I put it on the speaker, turn my lights on blue, and I let the music take me. Like I just let it express everything that I can't get out. So I just let the music break me down, and then I don't know where I'm gonna just be able to build myself back up because just sometimes you just gotta let it out, and I can't let it out, so I'm let the music let it out for me.
That is great. So speaking out loud and music. Awesome. So I want to circle back to that gaslighting is really powerful. Reading about that. How do you deal with gaslighting? Watching a TED talk on that. What's your strategy against what they're trying to project onto you with gaslighting? And making sure that you're continuing to release, making sure you're continuing to listen to music through this. It's not easy stuff that we're talking about or we're facing, but our culture is resilient. Making sure you're continuing to release and connecting to yourself and acknowledging whatever struggle you might be facing. Something that I heard about trauma is, you can try to ignore it and it's just, lifting weights, it's lifting weights in your mind. Like it's still there. It's just taking a back seat and it can come back around. So something that might hit you a certain way, it doesn't feel good, might be a sign of trauma. Making sure you're reading about it, making sure you're acknowledging it in whatever way gives you a form of a release is definitely recommended. And also have to say that if you ever feel like you want to talk to someone, Nashville Emotional Wellness is available to talk through these. You can talk to me individually if you were ever interested in just how do I think through this, or what resources. If you ever wanted to talk to me, I'm available as well. That's all that I have for you all today. I really appreciate the discussion. I mean, I want to take some of these back and just bring them because you all are so intelligent and you have such amazing ideas. And you all are natural leaders in yourself. And in some way or shape or form, you can lead. You don't have to be a politician, but in some way you can help someone else, and you can always help yourself and help someone else. So I just want to thank you all for your time. I've really enjoyed speaking to you all.
Thank you for your time.
Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us.
Unity. Self-determination. Ujima. Collective work and responsibility. Ujima. Cooperative economics.
OMG. Those babies, oh my God. I have to be honest. This is the first time I've seen the recording. And it has blown my mind. I've blown my mind. I am so full to see our children speak, to see them walk and talk with confidence and tell this Kwanzaa Nashville community what they need, what they want, who they want to be and who they are. And I am so proud of the children that have been represented, the teens that are speaking. I mean, I literally, as I'm sitting there, I said, that's the next Kwanzaa Nashville board committee. Like those children are. And this experience, I had so many reflections. I'll have to talk to somebody. I'll probably call you in a minute, Marquita. But I've had so many reflections just listening to them because it reminded me of the power of our children, our teens being immersed in a community that pours into them culture, a value system, things that they can walk and talk and be proud of, not to be ashamed of who they are, to be in their school system, in their clubs, in their organizations and be leaders and not have to be afraid to wear their African garments or afraid to speak the names of their ancestors or afraid to mention Kwanzaa. They are walking and speaking and breathing the tenets and the principles that we pour into them now. I remember I'm a village baby, and a lot of those children that we see there are now growing up in the culture. But I too grew up from the age of about 4 years old. You know, I didn't have a choice not to be Black. Like I had no choice. And so growing up and having programs at that time that even when the school system didn't provide that cultural backing, my mother and the community had the foresight to put me in programs. I don't know, I grew up during time with the Underground Railroad, Amar Jute, who also was a backbone of Kwanzaa, having the Village Culture Arts Center, having institutions that we created to make sure that our children know who they are, that they don't have to wait on the school system to do that. And then empowering me to create programs in your schools when they're not going to do it. Okay. So even now seeing those children, I can just see them now. It's like, okay, I'm just not going to sit back and complain about what is not happening. I'm going to create that myself. I'm going to demand that of my school to make sure that they have it. So I don't have to wait till I go to college to get into my first African studies course. I'm going to create it now. And so I'm so proud of these children. I'm full. I'm reading the comments with you all, and I'm feeling the same emotions. So Kwanzaa Nashville, it is our responsibility. You heard our children tonight. You heard what they want, what they need. You heard what they lack. Let's fill that gap. Let's make sure that they have the books. Say, you know, Brother Kijani, here, read the biography of Malcolm X, and I'm going to read it with you, brother. And we're going to dialogue about it, and we're going to talk about it. And we're going to speak their language. We're going to meet them where they are. Same thing with any young person in our community. They are our leaders. And it is my responsibility. It's your responsibility to make sure that they are growing up empowered and not afraid to be who they are, not afraid to speak their language, not afraid to walk in their purpose and walk in the principles of Kwanzaa. So, Lord, Ujima, this virtual experience is turning out a lot better than I expected. I mean, I'm just full because the things that we haven't really experienced in Kwanzaa in past years, we're able to experience it now. And so I want to thank Sister Angel and Sister Jamila for organizing this Ujima Teen Summit. It was needed. It taught me a lot. It allowed a time of reflection. And that's what Kwanzaa is about, you all. Kwanzaa is about taking a moment to breathe, to reflect on what has happened in the year, to reset, to rededicate our lives, to making sure that we are operating in unity, that we are operating in self-determination, that we are operating in collective work and responsibility, that we are operating in cooperative economics, that we are walking in our purpose, that we are creating and being innovative in Kuumba and creativity, and that we are always, despite whatever happens to us, despite how hellish 2020 has been, we still have hope and faith and believe in ourselves, in our leaders, and in the future of our community and our country. So, whew, y'all, I don't have nothing to say. Them children said it all tonight. So I pray and I hope that everyone continues to stay safe. Again, tomorrow is Ujima, cooperative economics. So we will be a part of the Ujima experience. Go right now. Again, please go right now to KwanzaaNashville.com. Get your expo ticket, okay? Our vendors need your support, all right? We need to support our people. We need to circulate the dollar. You also will be able to network within this hopping experience. So while you're there, you can also communicate and chat with everyone else that's there. So you might meet another business person. You might not decide to be a vendor, but you decide to be a part of the expo just to have conversation. That's what this experience is about, is making sure that we all are talking and know so that we can support, so we don't have an excuse of why we don't have what we have. There's too much technology out there not to be talking. And so y'all stay empowered, stay encouraged. Them babies just lifted my spirit and inspired me to do something that I should have been doing a long time ago. Create institutions of learning and environments. You know, somebody need to bring back the Village Culture Arts Center. I'm just putting it out there. You know, it is so needed in our community. Our children need the space to cultivate their creativity and their heritage. So let's do that. We owe them that. We owe ourselves that. You all have a good night. I love you. And we will see you in the expo tomorrow. Habar Ghani, everyone. Have a safe and prosperous night. Ashe.